Well, hello folks, welcome back. It is humid here today. It's like our first humid day of the summer. I call it summer. It's not technically summer yet, I guess. I guess it's still spring until next week, I think, the 24th. It's like the 24th, the first day of summer or something like that. Anyway, it's humid. It's humid. Nova Scotia. But alright, here we are. So this video is about the update on the truck. So 50,000 kilometers on this truck so far. I've had it for about a year and a half now. I got it December of 2023. So about a year and a half. I haven't really towed a lot with it, but I've worked it. Like, this is my runaround truck. Go look at work, go meet the guys on site, take it everywhere. It's my family hauler. I got Bauer in there right now. It's been a good truck, really, to be honest. You know, we'll talk about some stuff while I'm driving and whatnot, but the V6 versus the V8, I don't know. Like, I've definitely missed the sound of the V8. The acceleration and the power in this thing is phenomenal, to be honest. Fuel mileage wise, I don't really think it's a whole heck of a lot better on fuel. A bit better. This has a 3-inch lift on 35s. So it's hard to tell a direct comparison to a stock V8, but not a lot of guys keep their Tundra stock these days, especially if you got an older one. You want to hear that rumble, and usually guys take them off road, so you lift them and whatnot. But this, yeah, I honestly think that possibly if that V8 was matched up with this 10-speed transmission and this gearing that this truck has, that V8 might actually be easier on fuel than what this twin turbo V6 is. But that, I guess we will never know unless someone gets creative. But just a quick little walk around. Like I said, ready lift, 3-inch lift with the new radius arms, control arms. It's got the Toro Trail Blade XTs on here. And these have like 40,000 kilometers on them, and these are doing really well. These are doing really well. I put the TRD Offroad sort of Line X running boards on it. I think that gives it a lot better look, that's for sure. Other than that, that is it. That's all I've done to this truck so far. No intakes, no tuners, nothing as of yet. As far as the looks of the truck go, I think it looks really good, to be honest. Once you lift them. If you don't lift these trucks, it looks like a limousine. Obviously lots of room for people in the back. Hey buddy.
Hi.
You can see he's got loads and loads and loads of space back here. He still somehow finds a way to kick the back of the seat though. Don't you? Yeah, ha ha ha. But yeah, lots of room in the truck. But like I said, we'll hit the road here. We'll go for a trip, talk about a few things along the way. Well, all right folks, we're behind the wheel now. We're just sort of going through some twisty turny roads here. I will say that this is gotta be the smoothest driving pickup truck that I've ever owned, that's for sure. This is only like the second half ton I've ever owned. I owned a 2014 F-150. That drove pretty nice too, but this drives super, super nice. Even with the lift, the 35s on it, like the off-roady tires, this thing drives so nice. So nice. Yeah, I don't know, like the interior is, this is an SR5 TRD off-road. The interior is very well laid out. I find it everything is super like easy to get to. I don't mind having the small screen, to be honest. The big screens, I couldn't really care less about the big screen. I don't really understand the importance of it for people. I'd rather have these buttons right here for all my climate control and, you know, heated seats and things like that, versus having it all on a touchscreen. I'm not a huge fan of the touchscreen. When you put this thing in reverse, the camera is there to back up to a trailer. It's big enough. I'm fine with all this. Yeah, there's quite a bit of hard plastic in here. This is an SR5, but how often do you touch this? I don't touch that ever, other than when I wipe dust off it every blue moon. I think this truck honestly is very well laid out. I like the gauge cluster. I just don't like how there's like a million different colors going on. Like, I have this in eco mode right now. That just happens to be what it's in. That makes sense to be in green, but there's blue and there's green, and then when you get your trailer hooked up, there's indicators that are yellow, and then you've got your white gauges with the red, and it's just, there's so many different colors going on there. You can kind of get away from it a little bit if you stick to a screen like that. Yeah, anyway. All in all, I really like the layout, the interior of the truck. For the most part, it's quiet in here, other than there is a slight vibration somewhere over here, and you do get a fair amount of wind noise. I know it's well known, coming through the pillars here of the truck. I know that there's lots of people that talk about that. The doors I find are pretty flimsy, but they're quiet and they're practical. But as far as seating wise goes, this is probably, and I mean, and this seat itself is fairly hard, and you know, for not even a mid-grade but more of a base model truck, this is extremely comfortable. Probably the most comfortable truck that I've taken on like really long road trips for work. And but I mean by the most comfortable is the ride quality combined with like the seating comfort, the ergonomics of it. Both of my Ford Platinum pickup trucks that I had, the seats are way more comfortable in those, but obviously it's a bit of a rougher ride compared to this half-ton. We're gonna merge on the highway up here. I'll put this thing back in normal. So there, it's in normal right now. Actually, let's just put it up in sport. This thing definitely wants to get up and go. That's for sure. You can hear that vibration. So, let's just put it to the floor for a second. She wants to go. Extremely smooth shifts. I really like the transmission. Like, I really like the transmission. And that's what I was getting at earlier. I think if they put this 10-speed transmission in with that 5.7 V8, you would have the absolute perfect combo. It might not be as fast as this twin turbo is, but you still get that V8 reliability and that V8 sound. And I think it would be the absolute perfect combination. So I'm sort of daring somebody out there to take one of these trucks and put that 5.7 in these trucks with that 10-speed and match it up, and let's see how it does in fuel mileage compared to what this thing does. Yep. But here in Canada, we get the racing strip, or whatever you call it, the off-road strip on the steering wheel and on the shifter. We get heated seats. I don't know if you guys down in the States get some of this stuff. I know people have commented and have asked why I've had those things, if I got them after the fact or not, but for us here, they're just part of it. Yeah, like, it's not as big as the other ones though, as the last Crew Max Tundras, slightly smaller, but hey, I guess that's it for the driving portion. We're in 10th gear now, I would assume. That's one thing I don't like, is that you have no way of knowing what gear you're in. But I'd say we're definitely in 10th gear, and we're at like 1500 RPM doing 70 miles per hour. You can hear that little bit of wind noise. Okay, well, we're back where we started the video, so a little bit more of a walk around here. Like I said, all in all, I really do like this truck, and I'm not going to go into like details, specifics of trims and whatnot, like why they would put a chrome trim on an off-road truck that otherwise is all black. Basically, I have no idea. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. As well as in the back, why put a chrome plastic piece here on the back? Just makes no sense. Like zero sense. Like, I love the tail lights, I love the back bumper, I love the Toyota emblem, I love the side profile of the truck once it's lifted, because these doors are huge. Like, these are the biggest doors I've seen on trucks, and if this thing is slammed to the ground, I find it just looks so long with the 6.5 foot box. But with the lift and these large doors, like, you can open these things almost 90 degrees. There's so much room to get in and out of here. But I'm not going to get into like details about that. It's more of my experience with the truck. No engine experience, no engine issues. It hasn't blown up, so that's a good thing. But a couple things that I don't like. So I guess the first thing that I'll go over is this bed. This is so slippery, you can't put anything back here. It just slides everywhere. I had a bed mat that was supposed to come with this truck, but there was an issue at the factory. This truck is 1.5 years old. I still don't have a bed mat. So that's a little frustrating. But I do like how they have all these dividers in here to keep things from sliding around. You can put a 2x6 or something in there if you wanted to. The other thing that's pretty unfortunate is how cheap these seats, how cheap these seats are made. Like, look at this. So I'm a bit heavier than what I used to be, but I'm not a big guy by any means, and this is literally just for me getting in and out of the truck. Like, this piece of plastic is ready to rip right off. Like, look at this. Isn't that crazy? Look how thin. Look how thin that is. I didn't do anything to cause this. This is literally for me doing this and then just getting out of the truck. And you hear that? That's what this is from. So how else am I supposed to get out? Like, I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty crazy. That is so crazy how cheap that is. But I mentioned about the doors. I find the doors are like flimsy, like, you know, I don't know. But anyway, folks, I'm sure once I get back through this video, I'll probably find a few things that I missed along the way. But as far as issues go, no real issues other than that seat. And I had to get the rotors replaced quite early at like 25,000 kilometers, but they replaced them, no hesitation. And I really noticed that it was rough braking when I had my factory tires on, but when I put these Arturos on, I didn't notice it hardly at all, actually at all, but they still replaced them with no issues. But yeah, I guess that's the truck. It hasn't blown up like a lot of people's have, apparently, if you listen to the forums and trust a lot of the videos. But I like the truck. Do I miss the diesel? oh boy, do I ever. Being able to just jump in my personal truck and go move equipment if I need to, I definitely miss that, that's for sure. So we'll see what the future brings. But anyway, folks, that's gonna do it. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you then. Bye.